Now, answering your questions about the law and legal issues. This is Legal Break with attorney Gary Bruce.
Hello there and welcome. Welcome, Gary. Good to see you today.
Good morning. This is unusual for you to be Zooming in.
It is. Trying a little something different this week. So glad to have you, though. We have a question today. We're going to pull it up right there on the screen. This was an email question. Gary, does a lawyer have to keep my situation private if I don't hire them?
Yeah, good question. You know, the attorney-client privilege is really one of the cornerstones of our legal system. So when you talk to a lawyer, there is an expectation that it's not going any further, except to the extent within the office we share sometimes, but because we have to have people working on the case. But the communication remains confidential, and it can't be summons. I can't be brought to court and said, Gary, what did she tell you? What did he tell you about this situation? So even in that situation where maybe I don't stay involved, or a lawyer doesn't stay involved, or they're consulted but they don't hire, they don't stay in, or they get out at some point, those communications still remain private. So I think you're pretty safe on that. So now the phone call to the office is not necessarily protected, but here's my thought on that. Who knows you made that call? And you're not really going to get into the details of the case that you're worried about on a confidentiality, level on the phone, I hope. So, know who you're talking to. A paralegal is not a lawyer. A law student is not a lawyer. Somebody on the phone isn't necessarily a lawyer. So make sure you're talking to a lawyer if it's something you feel like needs to be kept confidential. Another little rule about it that people sometimes ignore or don't pay attention to, and it's awkward sometimes, but if you bring a family member or friend with you to see the lawyer, I usually ask that family member or friend to leave the room, because what we talk about is privileged when we talk about it privately. But if there's a third party in the room or somebody else is overhearing it, then the privilege is destroyed, because obviously you didn't really care because you told it to somebody other than a lawyer. So then they can call that person to come testify about what you talked about with the lawyer. So anyway, there are rules, but calling a lawyer, inquiring generally over the phone is certainly going to be protected. And then any confidential communications in the office or in the phone are absolutely privileged communications, just like with your minister or doctor.
Okay, very good. Great. Thank you so much for answering that question today, Gary. We ask you guys to definitely send us your questions, legalbreak@wtvm.com. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the very next Legal Break.